and welcome. I'm Melinda Akimami. Tonight, violence breaks out in Kogi State as INEC conducts by-elections in 4 states to fill vacant positions in the National Assembly and 1 state House of Assembly. The APC in Kwara State asked Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki to emulate Senator Akpabio and resign his position in the upper legislative chamber. Acting President Professor Yemi Osinbajo challenges youth in the country to speak up against corruption and question leaders who misrule them. And Mali's presidential election goes into a runoff poll tomorrow as President Ibrahim Keita failed to get enough votes to win a second term in office.
On Business News tonight, economic analysts expect further drop in Nigeria's inflation rate ahead of official release of July data from the National Bureau of Statistics next week.
And on sports news tonight, Barcelona star Gerard Piqué confirms decision to retire from Spanish national team to focus on club football after making 102 appearances.
We begin tonight with the by-elections conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in 4 states of the Federation today. The elections were conducted in Bauchi, Castina and Kogi states to fill vacant seats in the National Assembly for the Castina North and Bauchi South Senatorial District, as well as the Lokoja Kotonkafe Federal Constituency in Kogi State. While the elections in Bauchi and Castina states were judged peaceful, pockets of disturbances were recorded in Kogi State.
It's election day in Bauchi Senatorial District, the capital of Nigeria's pearl of tourism, Bauchi State. Movement is restricted, forcing tankers and other articulated vehicles to block the highway out of the state capital. Eligible voters gather at different polling booths across the 7 local government areas that make up the senatorial district to vote one of 12 candidates vying to replace the late Senator Ali Wakili in the National Assembly. Voting proper did not commence in Bauchi local government area, but it did start as early as 8 a.m. in Al-Kaleri and Kerfi local government areas. The state governor, Mohammed Abubakar, and his wife are among the voters here. The governor appears pleased with the conduct of the by-election so far.
Well, you can see it was very, very smooth. I was accredited quickly and I was able to vote without any hassle.
A similar by-election holds in Katsina State, where electorates from 12 local government areas in Katsina North Senatorial District vote to replace another late Senator, Mustafa Bukar, whose seat in the National Assembly had been vacant since April the 4th. 6 candidates from 6 political parties, including 2 brothers, are contesting the election.
Politics is a game. It's a game. It's a contest. You can play tennis with your son. You can play tennis with your friend. If he wins, you good and fine. You still shake hands. It's not a do-or-die affair.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) also had a busy day conducting another by-election in Kogi State, but this time not for the Senate. The Lokoja Kogi Kotonkafe Federal Constituency seat in the House of Representatives is vacant following the passing of the Deputy Majority Leader of the House, Umar Buba Jibril. Unlike the by-elections in Bauchi and Katsina states, the Kogi election was not entirely peaceful in some areas, where there were reports of ballot box snatching and killing.
As you can see, the situation here is under control. People are voting peacefully. Initially, we had some little hitches. That is why we couldn't start exactly 8 o'clock. And everything has been resolved within ourselves. and we have all agreed that we will do everything humanly possible to ensure that the voting ends peacefully.
But others adjudge the conduct of the by-election as fair and peaceful.
In fact, it's a peaceful election so far. Yeah. And we thank God Almighty for everything. And we know that by the end of everything, victory is going to be in our own party.
The last by-election for the day holds in Cross River State to fill up a vacant seat in the State House of Assembly. And Governor Ben Ayade also joins eligible voters in Obudu State constituency for the by-election. He says he is impressed by the turnout of voters. The by-elections are coming at a time the two leading political parties in the country are battling for supremacy, particularly in the National Assembly, and also at a time the political circle is recording defections. The results from these elections will perhaps settle the supremacy battle in the National Assembly between the two leading parties.
Staying with politics, Mr. Emmanuel Daniel has emerged as the national chairman of the Alliance for New Nigeria. AAN is one of Nigeria's 68 political parties hoping to participate in the 2019 general elections. 20 out of 21 newly sworn-in principal officers of the party got into office through consensus, save for the National Publicity Secretary. The 2019 general elections will be the first that the Alliance for New Nigeria, AAN, will be participating in since its registration in December 2017.
It's the maiden national convention of the Alliance for New Nigeria, one of Nigeria's 68 political parties. Members of the party gather in this hall in Abuja for a singular objective, which is to elect principal officers that will pilot the affairs of the party for the next 4 years.
Make the right decisions.
But before delegates make their choices, the interim national chairman emphasizes the importance of sticking to the founding principles of the party.
We at ANN are poised to take us to the promised land. A promised land of a new Nigeria where we all have the same opportunities. My call on all of us is not to shrink this responsibility, and the time to start acting is now.
An estimated 1,000 delegates expected to elect 21 principal officers of a political party is no doubt a huge task. That responsibility is, however, made simple when contestants decide to have consensus candidates. Eventually, without ballot boxes and ballot papers, these principal officers of the party are sworn in to see the party through the 2019 general elections and manage its affairs till 2022.
So help me God. Thank you very much.
With the party's National Working Committee in place, members are optimistic that they have a huge opportunity to make impact and possibly win the presidential seat in 2019.
We have a great vision for the youth of Nigeria. We believe very strongly that there is a generation that is in Nigeria that has not been accounted for, that I call them the born Democrats. They're a generation that were born in 1999, and I believe that they are eligible to vote in this season. We believe that if we can reach them and we can touch the things that concerns them, we will be able to drive a movement that will bring us into power in 2019.
There are people in this country, since they were 21 or 22, they have been living on government. They have never bought petrol with their money in their life. They have never bought gas, cooking gas. They don't know what it means when they are making a policy on that. The cars they use are from government. So they are disconnected completely from the everyday reality of Nigerians. That is not the case with ANN. So when we say new Nigeria, this is what we mean. There is a complete paradigm shift. And now this is a new paradigm shift. And by the grace of God, we are going to defeat both the APC and the PDP in the next election.
On the voters register.
It's barely 6 months to the 2019 general elections, an election that will, for the first time in the political history of Nigeria, have 68 political parties participating.
Staying with politics, the Kwara State chapter of the All Progressives Congress is asking the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, to emulate Senator Godswill Akpabio and resign his position. In a statement by the party chairman of the state's caretaker committee, Mr. Bashir Bolarinwa, the APC asked Dr. Saraki to give up the office of the Senate President, claiming that it's reserved for the party with majority members in the chamber. It adds, and I quote, "The path of honor was led by distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, who before defecting to the ruling party had honorably resigned as the leader of the minority party in the Senate. So, Saraki should act honorably, resign from that office of trust. He should for once toe the path of honor and stop heating up the polity unduly." End of quote. While declaring the support of the APC members in Kwara State for President Muhammadu Buhari, Mr. Bolarinwa said any politician holding elective office should do so in trust for the people and be accountable to them. Senator Saraki had said he would not leave his position, describing the call for his resignation as unlawful. The governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, says his party, that's the All Progressives Congress, is not flustered by the wave of defections rocking the party. Governor Ganduje believes the recent political drama playing out will only strengthen the APC and make Nigeria's political circle more interesting. The governor was speaking in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, when he visited the state governor, Mr. Rauf Aregbesola.
Nomadic politicians are now, in the increase, but APC will take care of that. I assure you that Kano we are solid, and the national level too we are solid. You see, when you are a progressive party, from the beginning you have to use those who are not progressive, but later on, they will fish themselves out, and they will leave the pure progressive who will forge on in order to move the country forward. So that is what is happening. The foundation was really a combination of so many people from different ideologies. But as time goes on, especially with our President Muhammadu Buhari, who is fighting corruption, who is trying to find an ideology to the party, you find that those who are not fitting in will obviously fall by the wayside.
From politics to security matters now, the Ekiti State government is challenging the State Police Command to urgently fish out those behind the murder of Mr. Bumi Ojo, a former personal assistant to the ex-deputy national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Segun Oni. In a statement, the government condoles with his family, friends and political associates, promising to provide every necessary information to help security operatives track down the perpetrators. It adds that the peace enjoyed in the state since Governor Ayodele Fayose assumed office has been shattered in the face of what it describes as the recent desperate politics in the state. The government asked the people of Ekiti State to be vigilant, especially now that the political atmosphere appears to be heated. And from Ekiti, let's move to Imo State now, southeastern part of Nigeria, where the police have arrested a man they claimed is a self-acclaimed U.S. soldier for impersonation and fraud. The suspect, identified as Mr. Michael Slack, was paraded at the command headquarters in Owerri. The Commissioner of Police, Dasuki Galandachi, told journalists that Mr. Slack, who is an American, specialized in defrauding women with the promise of taking them to his country. Some other suspected criminals were also lined up for various crimes, including alleged armed robbery, child trafficking, and courtesan. And in part two, after the break, we look at the drive to eradicate polio in Nigeria, and we have the Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, to discuss this. So join us again.